The First Contact. Deep in the void between stars, the stellar observatory Argus drifted silently through space, its array of quantum sensors probing the darkness. Dr. Sarah Chen sat at her monitoring station, her eyes fixed on the cascade of data flowing across her holographic displays. 15 years of watching empty space had taught her patience, but nothing could have prepared her for what she was about to discover. The signal came at 3:47 Earth Standard Time, a pattern so distinct from the usual background noise that Sarah's hands trembled as she initiated deep scan protocols. It wasn't random. It wasn't natural. It was a cry for help. "Director Hammond," she called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I need you to see this." James Hammond, veteran of 3 deep space expeditions and current director of Argus, floated into the observation deck. His weathered face showed concern. Sarah had never requested his presence during a shift before. "Look at this pattern," she said, highlighting a sequence in the data stream. "It's repeating every 108 seconds. The complexity suggests artificial origin, but what's fascinating is this." She isolated a segment of the transmission. "It's carrying geometric sequences, universal mathematical constants. They're trying to prove their intelligence." Hammond's expression darkened as he studied the data. Origin. The Carina Nebula. About 7,500 light-years away. 7,500. Hammond whispered. They'd been waiting a long time for someone to hear them. Over the next 72 hours, Argus's quantum computers worked to decode the alien transmission. What they found shook humanity to its core. The message contained more than just mathematics. It carried images, data, and a desperate plea for help. The Araxians, a species of crystalline beings who had evolved in the high-pressure depths of their ocean world, were facing extinction. Another species, referred to only as the Harvester Collective, had invaded their system. The Harvesters weren't interested in territory or resources. They were collecting sentient species for purposes unknown, treating advanced civilizations like specimens in a cosmic zoo. As the data painted a clearer picture, Earth's United Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from every nation gathered in the orbital chamber of New Geneva Station, their faces grim as they watched the decoded transmissions. "We cannot ignore this," Ambassador Chen argued, her voice carrying across the chamber. "We've spent centuries wondering if we were alone in the universe. Now we know we're not. And our first contact is a species begging for help. The Carina Nebula is 7,500 light-years away," General Santos countered. "Even with our most advanced ships, it would take decades to reach them. By then." "Not necessarily," a quiet voice interrupted. Dr. Elena Volkov, head of the Quantum Propulsion Initiative, stepped forward. "There might be a way, but you're not going to like it." The chamber fell silent. Everyone knew what she was referring to. Project Prometheus. The classified research that had been shut down 20 years ago because its implications terrified even its creators. "We sealed that research for a reason," Council President Mbeki said softly. "The power to fold space itself. It was too dangerous." "And now," Elena challenged, "we have the technology to help. We have the power to make a difference. If we turn our backs on the Araxians, what does that say about humanity?" The debate raged for days. The stakes were unprecedented, revealing humanity's most advanced technology, potentially involving Earth in an interstellar conflict, and setting a precedent for future interventions in alien affairs. But as more transmissions arrived, showing the systematic destruction of Araxian cities and the harvesting of their people, the moral imperative became clear. Humanity had spent centuries evolving beyond its violent past, developing technologies that could reshape reality itself. Perhaps this was why. Not to destroy, but to protect. The final vote was unanimous. Project Prometheus would be reactivated. A rescue fleet would be assembled. Humanity would answer the call. As Sarah Chen watched the Council's decision from her post on Argus, she couldn't help but feel a mix of hope and trepidation. Humanity was about to reveal itself to the galaxy in a way that would forever change the course of history. The question wasn't just whether they could save the Araxians. It was whether humanity was ready for the consequences of its own power. In the depths of space, the signal continued its lonely journey. 3 pulses, 3 long tones, 3 pulses, a pattern as old as radio itself, now carrying the weight of an entire civilization's hopes. Help was coming, but what form that help would take would shock even those who sent the call. The awakening. Beneath the ice sheets of Antarctica, in a facility so classified its existence was known only to a handful of people, Dr. Elena Volkov stood before a massive door bearing the symbol of Project Prometheus. 20 years of dust covered the advanced alloys, but the security system still hummed with power, waiting. "Are you absolutely certain about this?" Admiral Marcus Reed asked, his breath visible in the frigid air. The aging military commander had spent his entire career guarding humanity's most dangerous secrets. "Once we restart the quantum cores, there's no going back." Elena placed her hand on the biometric scanner. "The Araxians don't have 20 years, Admiral. They barely have 20 days." The scanner pulsed with blue light, recognizing one of the original Project Prometheus architects. With a deep rumble, the massive doors began to part. Inside, suspended in a cradle of exotic matter containment fields, hung the prototype that had changed humanity's understanding of physics itself, the QES Hyperion. Unlike conventional spacecraft, its hull was composed of quantum-locked materials that could exist in multiple states simultaneously. It wasn't just a ship, it was a tear in reality given form. Teams of engineers and scientists flooded into the facility, beginning the delicate process of reactivating systems that had lain dormant for 2 decades. Elena moved through the controlled chaos, her mind racing through calculations and possibilities. The technology worked. They had proven that 20 years ago. The question was whether they could control it. In orbit above Earth, another awakening was taking place. The United Earth Defense Force's dormant fleet was being brought back online. These weren't the primitive chemical rockets humanity showed to the galaxy. These were the predators, the hunters, the weapons that had been deemed too powerful to use. Commander Sarah Chen, newly promoted from her position at Argus, watched as the stealth destroyer Silent Dawn came to life under her command. Its hull seemed to drink in light, covered in metamaterials that bent electromagnetic radiation around it like water around a stone. "All quantum systems online," her XO reported. "Weapon arrays charging. Reality anchors stable." Sarah nodded, trying to hide her apprehension. She had studied these ships in classified military archives, but seeing one in person was different. The Silent Dawn wasn't just a warship. It was a statement about humanity's true technological capabilities. Back in Antarctica, Elena supervised the final preparations of the Hyperion. The quantum core thrummed with power, its crystalline structure pulsing with possibilities. Each facet showed a different version of reality, paths through space-time that violated everything humanity had once believed impossible. Dr. Volkov, a young engineer, called out, his face pale. "We're detecting temporal echoes from the core. It's like it's remembering the future." Elena smiled grimly. "That's exactly what it's doing. The quantum core exists in all possible states until we collapse its waveform. Right now, it's seeing every possible outcome of our mission." Admiral Reed watched the preparations with growing concern. "The Council needs to know the risks, Elena. Not just the tactical ones, but the philosophical ones. We're about to show the galaxy that humanity has mastered technologies that border on the impossible." "They already know," Elena replied, checking the final calculations. "But the real question isn't about technology, Marcus. It's about responsibility. We built these ships, these weapons, these reality-bending machines, and then we locked them away because we were afraid of our own power. But power isn't good or evil. It's how we use it that matters." Across Earth's orbital shipyards, 5 more destroyers joined the Silent Dawn, their quantum cores singing in harmony. Each ship represented a different aspect of humanity's hidden strength: stealth, speed, power, precision, and the ability to reshape reality itself. Commander Chen received her final briefing aboard the Silent Dawn. The mission parameters were clear: reach the Araxians, stop the Harvester Collective, and do it without revealing the full extent of human technological advancement, unless absolutely necessary. Remember, Admiral Reed's hologram warned during the briefing, we're not just saving one species. We're announcing humanity's presence to the galaxy. Everything you do, every decision you make, will shape how the cosmos views Earth for centuries to come. As the rescue fleet made final preparations for departure, Elena ran one last diagnostic on the Hyperion's quantum core. The possibilities it showed were both thrilling and terrifying. Success, failure, and everything in between, all existing simultaneously until the moment of action. "We're ready," she announced to Admiral Reed. "Though I have to warn you, the quantum core is showing a high probability of us discovering something about the Harvester Collective that will change everything we think we know about the galaxy." Reed's expression remained stoic. "Just remember the Council's orders. This is a rescue mission, not a war. Use only what force is necessary." Elena nodded, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the quantum core's predictions were trying to tell them something. Something about the true nature of their enemy and why they were collecting advanced species. In high orbit, Commander Chen gave the order to power up the fleet's quantum drives. 6 ships, each carrying technologies that could reshape the cosmos, prepared to make history. Humanity was about to step onto the galactic stage, not as pioneers or explorers, but as protectors. The mission to save the Araxians would reveal not just humanity's power, but its character. And somewhere in the quantum realm, in the space between possibilities, the future of the galaxy hung in the balance. Operation Salvation. The quantum cores of 6 human vessels pulsed in perfect synchronization as they prepared for their first fold space jump. On the bridge of the Silent Dawn, Commander Sarah Chen felt a subtle vibration through the deck plates, the only indication that they were about to attempt something previously thought impossible. "All ships report ready," her XO announced. "Quantum harmonics aligned. Reality anchors at full power." Sarah took a deep breath. "Execute jump sequence on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark." Reality twisted. There was no other way to describe it. Space itself seemed to fold around the fleet like paper in an origami master's hands. Stars blurred, stretched, and then snapped back into focus. In the space of a heartbeat, they had crossed thousands of light years. "Position check," Sarah ordered, fighting down a wave of disorientation. We're in the Carina Nebula," her navigator reported, voice filled with awe. 7,500 light years in a single jump. It worked. But celebration was short-lived. Their sensors immediately detected weapons fire in the nearby system. The Harvester Collective was still actively hunting the Araxians. On board the Hyperion, Dr. Elena Volkov monitored the quantum core's predictions. "Multiple Harvester vessels detected," she reported to the fleet. "Their technology is unusual. The quantum core is having trouble predicting their movements." The human fleet moved into position, still cloaked in their reality-bending stealth fields. For the first time, they got a clear look at their enemy. The Harvester ships were massive, crystalline structures that seemed to phase in and out of normal space. They were firing strange energy weapons that didn't so much destroy their targets as remove them from reality. "Those aren't weapons," Elena realized, her face paling as she studied the readings. "They're collection devices. They're literally harvesting consciousness itself." Sarah watched as a harvester beam struck an Araxian vessel. Instead of exploding, the ship and its crew simply disappeared, leaving behind only a quantum echo. "All ships maintain stealth protocols. We need to understand what we're dealing with before we engage." The fleet tracked the harvesters to their main target, an Araxian city ship, nearly the size of Earth's moon. Its crystalline structure pulsed with beautiful bioluminescence, but its defensive shields were failing under the Harvester assault. "We're receiving a transmission from the city ship," communications reported. It's the same signal pattern we received on Earth." Sarah opened the channel. The holographic display filled with the image of an Araxian, a crystalline being composed of geometric patterns that shifted and flowed like living mathematics. Its voice came through as harmonics in the quantum field itself. "Unknown vessels," the Araxian transmitted, "we detect your presence though we cannot see you. If you have come in response to our call, please, we have little time left." Sarah glanced at Admiral Reed's hologram for confirmation. He nodded grimly. "Show them who we are." The human fleet decloaked in perfect synchronization, their quantum cores pulsing with power. Sarah opened a channel to both the Araxians and the Harvester ships. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. We received your distress call, and we are here to help. To the Harvester Collective, cease your attacks immediately or face the consequences." The response from the Harvesters came instantly, not in words, but in action. 3 of their massive ships turned to face the human fleet, their reality-harvesting weapons charging. "They're not used to resistance," Alin observed, monitoring the quantum predictions. "No species they've encountered has had the technology to fight back." "Then let's show them something new," Sarah replied. "All ships, defensive formation Delta. Activate quantum shields. Show them humanity's answer to those who prey on the innocent." The Harvester weapons fired, their beams of unreality reaching out to collect new specimens for their cosmic zoo. But when they struck the human vessel's quantum shields, something unprecedented happened. The beams scattered, refracted through possibilities that the human ships could access but not fully enter. "Their weapons work by shifting matter into alternate realities," Elena reported excitedly. "But our quantum cores can exist in multiple realities simultaneously. We're immune." The Harvesters reacted with what could only be described as shock, their crystalline ships vibrating in patterns that suggested confusion and alarm. They had never encountered a species with technology that could match their own. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "All ships prepare to demonstrate why humanity locked away its most powerful weapons. Let's show the galaxy that we stand against those who would prey on the defenseless." The human fleet moved into attack position, their quantum cores singing with power. They were about to reveal just a fraction of what humanity was capable of when pushed to defend others. And in doing so, they would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Araxians watched in wonder as their rescuers prepared to engage their tormentors. Humanity's first major action on the galactic stage would not be one of conquest or expansion, but of protection and justice. The battle that followed would become legend. The day Earth showed the cosmos that advanced technology could serve a noble purpose. The battle for tomorrow. The silent void of space erupted into a symphony of quantum events as humanity's hidden fleet engaged the Harvester Collective. Commander Sarah Chen watched as reality itself seemed to bend and warp around the combatants. "Multiple Harvester ships attempting to flank our position," her tactical officer reported. "They're trying to find blind spots in our quantum shields." "Rotate shield harmonics," Sarah ordered. "Don't let them establish a pattern." "Dr. Volkov, what are the quantum core predictions showing?" Elena's hologram flickered on the bridge, her expression intense. "The cores are showing something strange. The Harvesters. They're not just collecting species. They're running from something. Something worse." The battle intensified. The Harvester ships fired their reality-shifting weapons in complex patterns, trying to overwhelm the human fleet's defenses. But humanity's quantum technology proved resilient, decades ahead of anything the Harvesters had encountered before. "Launch quantum torpedoes," Sarah commanded. "Target their phase drive systems." The human fleet released salvos of weapons that existed in multiple states simultaneously, making them impossible to dodge or intercept. When they struck the Harvester ships, the results were spectacular. Instead of explosions, there were implosions of possibility. Sections of the massive crystalline vessels simply ceased to exist in this reality. On board the Hyperion, Alina made a breakthrough. Commander Chen, I'm detecting quantum signatures from inside the harvester ships. They're full of stored consciousnesses, billions of them, from countless species. They're not destroying their victims, Sarah realized. They're preserving them. But why? The answer came from an unexpected source. The Araxian city ship, previously silent during the battle, transmitted a burst of quantum data. Alina's eyes widened as she decoded it. The harvesters are refugees, she announced. They're running from something they call the Void, and force that's consuming entire galaxies in the outer rim. They're preserving species to restore them once the threat passes. Sarah processed this information as she watched another harvester ship fall to human weapons. They're trying to save the galaxy by kidnapping its inhabitants. Open a channel to the harvester command ship. The quantum communications array pulsed, and a response came, not in words, but in direct quantum impressions. Images flooded the bridge. Galaxies going dark, stars being extinguished, and a spreading nothingness that defied understanding. We can help you, Sarah transmitted back. Earth has the technology, the resources. We can work together to face this threat. For a moment, the battle paused. The remaining harvester ships hung motionless in space, their crystalline structures vibrating with internal debate. Then, slowly, their weapons powered down. They're standing down, Tactical reported. All harvester ships are repositioning to defensive stations around the Araxian city ship. Alina's hologram flickered with excitement. The quantum cores are stabilizing. Future predictions are becoming clearer. Commander, we may have just prevented a war by starting one. Sarah nodded grimly. Contact Earth Command. Tell them we need to convene a Galactic Council. The threat the harvesters were running from, it's real. And it's coming for all of us. The next few hours were a flurry of quantum communications and diplomatic exchanges. The harvesters, finally able to explain their actions, shared their vast database of preserved species and technological knowledge. The Araxians, though wary, began working with both humans and harvesters to coordinate a response to the greater threat. On the bridge of the Silent Dawn, Sarah watched as the former enemies began to cooperate. Humanity had come to save one species, but had ended up brokering a peace that might save the galaxy. The quantum cores hummed with new predictions, possibilities of alliance, advancement, and hope. Dr. Volkov, Sarah called. What do the quantum predictions show about our chances against this void? Alina studied the complex mathematical patterns emerging from the core. Alone, any of our species would fall. But together we might have a chance. Human quantum technology, harvester preservation systems, Araxian crystal engineering. It's like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. Admiral Reed's hologram appeared on the bridge. Well done, Commander. But this is just the beginning. Earth is mobilizing everything we have. If there's really something out there consuming galaxies, then humanity will face it, Sarah finished. Not alone, but as part of something greater. We came here to save others, but in doing so, we may have saved ourselves. The Araxian city ship began to glow with renewed energy, its crystalline structure resonating with both human and harvester technology. In the space of a few hours, the galaxy had changed. 3 species, each with their own incredible technologies and capabilities, had found each other just in time to face an existential threat. The battle was over, but the war for survival was just beginning. And humanity, having revealed its true power, would be at the forefront of the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever seen. Legacy of the Stars. 3 months after the Battle of Carina Nebula, Earth's orbital stations hummed with activity. Representatives from over 30 spacefaring civilizations gathered in the newly constructed quantum assembly, some physically present, others attending via quantum projection technology shared by the humans. The Great Hall was a testament to the rapid changes sweeping the galaxy. Dr. Alina Volkov stood at the podium, presenting the combined findings of human, Araxian, and harvester scientists. Behind her, a holographic display showed the advancing void at the galaxy's edge, a phenomenon that defied conventional physics. The void isn't just consuming matter, she explained, her voice carrying across the assembly. It's erasing the quantum probability space itself. Every world it touches doesn't just die, it never existed in the first place. Commander Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, watched from her seat beside the Harvester archivists. The crystalline beings had revealed the full scope of their preservation project. Trillions of consciousnesses from thousands of civilizations, stored in quantum matrices, waiting to be restored. With Earth's quantum core technology, Elena continued, and the Harvester's preservation systems, we can create safe zones, regions of space where we can restore civilizations and fortify against the void's advance. The Araxians' crystal engineering will allow us to construct vast defensive networks across these regions. The assembly erupted in discussion. Quantum translators worked overtime as dozens of species debated the proposal. Some feared giving humans too much influence, given their surprisingly advanced technology. Others worried about trusting the Harvesters, despite their explained motives. An Araxian elder rose to speak, its crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns. 3 months ago, we faced extinction. The humans came not to conquer, but to protect. When they discovered the truth about our supposed enemies, they sought understanding rather than victory. These are the actions of a species worthy of trust. The Harvester Prime consciousness pulsed in agreement, its quantum signature resonating through the hall. We acted in desperation, believing isolation and preservation were the only options. Humanity showed us a better way. Unity, cooperation, hope. Admiral Chen stood, her new quantum interface uniform gleaming. Earth kept its advanced technology hidden because we feared our own power. We built weapons that could reshape reality, then locked them away. But now we know, technology isn't good or evil. It's how we use it that matters. Earth stands ready to share its knowledge, to help build this alliance. The vote was nearly unanimous. The Galactic Defense Alliance would be formed, with Earth serving as a primary coordinate for military and scientific cooperation. The Harvesters would begin restoring preserved species to new worlds, protected by human quantum technology. The Araxians would lead the construction of a vast early warning network. Later, in her private quarters aboard the Silent Dawn, Sarah reviewed the quantum predictions for the coming years. The possibilities branched out like a cosmic tree, some branches dark with failure, others bright with potential. The cores are showing improved outcomes, Elena noted, her hologram appearing beside Sarah's desk. The probability of successfully defending against the void increases with each new species joining the alliance. And the ones we couldn't save? Sarah asked quietly. The civilizations the void already erased. We honor them by saving others, Elena replied. The Harvesters taught us that preservation isn't enough. We have to fight back, to build something new. On Earth, humanity was changing. The revelation of their hidden technology had sparked a renaissance of innovation and purpose. Ships that could fold space were now being adapted for civilian use. Quantum cores were being integrated into environmental restoration projects. The weapons of war were becoming tools of creation. The Araxian city ship, now a permanent embassy in Earth orbit, pulsed with crystalline light, a beacon of cooperation visible from the surface. Inside, scientists from 100 worlds worked together, sharing knowledge that had been kept secret for generations. In the deepest quantum bunker beneath Antarctica, Admiral Reed stood with Elena before a wall of shifting predictions. "Do you think we did the right thing?" he asked, revealing everything we had hidden. Elena smiled, watching the quantum possibilities dance. "We did better than right. We did what was necessary." Humanity kept its power hidden out of fear, fear of ourselves, fear of misuse. But when the moment came, we chose to use that power to protect, to unite, to build. The quantum cores across Earth pulsed in harmony, their predictions growing stronger and clearer. The void was still coming, but it would not find a galaxy divided and weak. It would face an alliance forged in understanding, strengthened by diversity, and led by a species that had learned to temper power with wisdom. Humanity had emerged onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors or victims, but as guardians, and in doing so, they had helped create something greater than themselves, a future where the combined strength of many civilizations might stand against the darkness at the edge of everything. In the vast quantum probability space, countless futures flickered and shifted. But in all the brightest timelines, there was one constant: the day humanity answered a distant cry for help, and in doing so, changed the destiny of the galaxy forever.